like starting traveling downriver.
Well, starting traveling downriver is in my mind, a good choice anyway. I need to get back to the temple. A temple.
I would need to stay with Jalla with the new temple, so
especially because everybody, I forgot to mention, everybody that you are talking to seems to think that the god of the buried dead has either been itself killed or has retreated into the earth so far that it has become an unguessable secret and is no longer part of the world. That's what they're saying over there anyway.
Cult of the Buried Dead.
Yes. In other words, the priests cannot get their rune spells anymore.
Yeah.
When they
did they say anything? Did they say anything about my cult, the house snake?
Well, that's a good question. No, I would think that everybody would assume that that the half snakes will take care of themselves, and there doesn't seem to be any difference in their behavior or anything. Most people don't really know much about the cult of the half snakes anyway. They figure it's some sort of family affair that isn't very interesting to anybody else. Much like you might have a clan god or something. That's all very nice, and you might have a little clay statue somewhere, but so what as far as everyone else is concerned? Yeah, sure, maybe you get a battle magic spell from it, and there's some legend about that, and you care very much, but, whatever. And so I think people underestimate the cult of the half snakes a lot.
Okay. Skava, you asked a question?
No, it was Urko. No, Skava asked about what the other characters remember from their experience before they met you. To be specific, what the ghosts removed as your memories concerns the gods before time.
Yeah.
So the details of those terrible runes and those terrible ideas that made no sense at all and yet seemed so incredibly powerful. Those are the details are very unclear to both Urko, Jala, and to Zort.
I actually have a question about that now that I think about it. Does Urko remember that he was the source of bringing his temple down?
That's a very good question. I think you do, but you cannot remember why or what it meant, what you learned from it, and the way you thought when you were affected by it.
Going back to Scout's question, no. Mm-hmm. Don't remember too much.
He said something about chaos and this light god. He said something about chaos will be the only thing that can bring him down.
Yeah, the ghost talked about how the weapon against the perfect light, the unchanging static light of pure existence, the only weapon that it feared or that could truly be effective against it was chaos.
I can tell Skava the few things I do remember.
I think that's the most important one. Don't worry about the rest.
Okay. I'd like to just continue with this business of socializing with the travelers who have come, the people who have brought their own sorts of wood or their own sorts of meat or their own sorts of cloth in exchange for the ones that are made here. Perhaps a certain kind of fruit that is from far away has been passed up, the river through several different steps. And this is the last one, the last basket of this fruit that's available.
And very ripe.
Yes, should be just fine by now.
Probably very expensive too.
Oh yeah, well, it means that that people of high status will get it. So, therefore, I suggest that we choose what to focus on. Shall we focus on dealing with insect people by going and crossing into the mountains and scouting there, or trying to think about how to contact them? Shall we think about leaving this area entirely and how you might want to do that? Should you think about making this more of a base? Ikindu and Urko both seem kind of oriented toward establishing something here. And Skava, I will also say that it makes a lot of sense. The expectation is that outside of the village, along paths in the wilderness, that the woods woman needs shrines out there.
I'll be out of the village for most of my time.
Right.
Probably be gone for a week or longer
Right.
at a time.
Okay.
Both trying to watch the surroundings to make sure it's as safe as it can be, and to make myself comfortable in the surrounding woods.
Excellent. So name some of your skills that are involved in that.
Yeah. Scan. Plant lore, maybe?
Yes.
Track.
Okay. Well, first I want you to do a plant lore roll.
Nope.
Okay.
It's only 10. So I'm 60. I'm far above it.
Okay. And then I want you to roll your cult lore.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, you are spending a lot of time out there trying to accomplish things, and it's taking a long time. So
I thought so.
Yeah, it's how it goes.
Not surprised.
It's not impossible. I might do toward the end of the session. You might get another roll for that represents continuing over a period of time. So then, let's see, Sandra. So look to me like you were going to say something.
Yes. Well, I'm up for going outside or traveling, away from this village after Jala. Well, when we're done with the temple, and she might become a priest.
Right.
But until then, I would like to stay there and do everything that needs to be done with the Jala. And when she needs to do her own thing, Urko is up for traveling the area for a week or two.
Mm-hmm. Let's also look at the year cycle. As I recall, your holy day is in the very deep dark of the winter.
Yes.
So that means you will be committed to these processes at least until that time. It doesn't mean you can't leave and walk around and go do things temporarily. That's okay. Particularly if it involves learning more. The more things learned and recorded, the happier this temple will be.
Because I was kind of interested in where the giant was heading.
Mm-hmm.
If I could find any clue to that, if not by all the things that we looked through the scrolls or books, or maybe in some surrounding ruin somewhere.
I think that's a very good point. Tracking the giant backwards will be a pretty easy thing to do. And studying a little bit will also be easy and useful. We will make some rolls for that in a moment. And Mika, I don't want to leave you out. While Skava is establishing and making better trails out there in the mountains and setting up little wooden platforms to put little flowers on and things like that all through the mountains, that also means that she is scouting out roads or places that could become roads, and effectively creating a means of passage through these areas.
Could I join her when she's doing that?
As long as you behave.
Yeah.
So I also have that knowledge. I mean,
Right.
maybe I can help with some roles.
Yeah.
Because now I'm actually more leaning to my first priority would probably be opening some kind of trade.
Right.
Then the other one would be trying to protect the city.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to somehow connect to the insect people.
Right.
But because I don't really know how to right now, that's more of my background.
I
I'm
completely
not going to
understand.
go that far into the mountains.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but it's a good start for what he's talking about. And I kind of like the idea of the two of you out there camping and, you know, looking at things and having different perspectives on things. So
Yeah.
that sounds
Me
I would
too.
like to try to use my material skills to maybe find some ore.
Okay,
Something that the village can barter with.
Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to roll your local knowledge, just to see if you get better at it as you go along.
Local knowledge 45. I've already done it.
Oh, that's true. You have. Okay, so let's consider that.
But I got that
But I want you to
77.
roll, but you haven't rolled it as using the skill yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about using it.
Okay, I rolled a 71.
Okay. Well, again, you just like Skava, the two of you learn that the first time you go and scout through an area and try to figure it out, you probably are going to have to sleep at least one time in a rough situation out in the night in a place that you would prefer not to sleep in, and to get up in a cold, miserable morning and make your way back to where you thought you were, and things like that. It's a nice, fun camping trip.
Okay.
Right, 2 failed local knowledge rolls. That will give you a night like that. So,
well, in the mountains, so what?
Exactly, right? This is just part of doing business out there. Now the next encounter or discussion I want to have involves some of the dangers that Urko will face when. Oh wait, I forgot materials roll for Ikindu as well.
Okay. Oh crap. 62 and I have 40.
We are just the rolling champions tonight.
Well, think of it like this. He has a companion who doesn't want him to basically move any twig out of his way. It will be pretty difficult to find ore that way.
That's right. We have a miner and an environmentalist go camping together. They spend most of their time arguing with each other. So
that's my view of it.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds fun, actually. I kind of like it, but of course you rely on each other as fellow campers to do the ordinary tasks and things, and so that's kind of fun too. So then let's go and examine poor Urko, who is busy reading difficult scrolls. Remember last time you began to read that foreign language?
Yes.
Can you roll that new skill?
The Northern language?
Yes.
Or
yes.
I don't know what to roll really, because you only said 30%. So I don't have a special number for it.
Okay, but what says 30%?
That I can speak it 30% of the Northern language.
I think it was read and write, not speak.
Oh, that I can read it,
Yeah.
understand it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So if you roll that ability, we will see how well you do in researching more about the origins of this giant. You know it was created here in the village, but you also know that the person who did it came from that area.
Okay. 76.
Oh, okay. Well, the script is very difficult. You are able to find all of the words that don't help you. Sort of like me reading one of those emails from my kids' teachers.
Okay.
I can understand all the Swedish that doesn't really tell me what they mean.